This is Mike Peacock for Misery Point Radio, and you're listening to Picks and Bones with Eric Moore.
Picks and Bones is a proud member of the Civilized Creatures Entertainment Network. Visit our website, civilizedcreatures.com, to discover more about these amazing podcasters.
Wish you were here. Wish I could touch your face. Wish I could hold you in my arms one more time, babe. Like the air in my lungs, I can't live without you, girl. Like a bird on a high wire without a song. 'Cause I'm right here, just waiting on you, watching the sun come up and down in this southern town. Wherever I go, whatever I do, I'll always be loving you. I'll always be loving you, Carolina.
Welcome, everybody, to Picks and Bones. I'm your host, Eric. Tonight, I'm sitting down face-to-face with Zac Kellum. How you doing tonight, buddy?
Doing good, man.
Let everybody know who you are and what you do and, you know, where you fit into this amazing world of music.
Well, my name is Zac Kellum, like you said, and I do more of I guess it's a soulful kind of country kind of sound. Most of my songs that are original and stuff are kind of from growing up here in the upstate of South Carolina, kind of heartfelt, kind of about me, about my life in one way or another, and you'll see some more of that and some more stuff I got coming out hopefully by next year, and so stuff like that, and I just try to get around and play with some of the great musicians we have around here, and hopefully one day we'll make it a little bit further along. But I got a full band called Nash South that I bring out with me here and there, and it's a 5-piece fiddle player, the works, and we always have a good time with that.
Awesome. Yeah, I've been listening to you and everything, and I like your sound. I like your vocal sound.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
And you know, it's you've got a rich tone to your voice that, you know, so many guys lack. You know, that, you know, yeah, they're great and everybody loves them, but I'm more that technical person. I'm always listening. I want to see how, you know, where your tone lays, you know, where pitches go, and, you know, I'm digging your stuff for sure.
Oh yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, vocals is definitely my stronger suit of anything.
I hear you. So, what were some of your influences coming up?
Really, I grew up with my parents were in a gospel group, so I grew up hearing like a, you know, 3 and 4 part harmony all the time. So, but my actual influences, I guess, were more Gavin DeGraw, Mo Pitney, Chris Stapleton, you know, Ray Charles, Johnny Cash. It's kind of a mixture. I like a little bit of soul and a little bit of you know, and then the older country, and kind of just intertwine it all together. And I like to take some of that and some of those cover songs and make them my own as well as with my originals.
Well, now since you transitioned into that one, that's the one I always love to ask everybody. When you're doing covers, what's your approach to that? Because I know some people try to keep it as true to the original as they can, and some people you couldn't tell a difference. You would have thought, you know, they wrote the song themselves.
Somehow, girl, they still ain't found me yet. It's a crazy truth. Like I just rolled out the gates of Alcatraz, and I walked in the Louvre. Now the Mona Lisa's hanging in my house. I busted out of Buckingham with the crown jewels. and I got away with you.
So, I mean, what's your approach to doing those kind of things?
It definitely depends on if it's, I don't know. I tell the guys we just try to have the most fun with it as we can and try to make it sound unique. It's some songs, traditional, older country, you kind of want to keep it that same sound.
Exactly.
But if there's a song, you hear something in it and it's got a different vocal pattern and you think you can change it and it'll sound even better, that's kind of what I do. I just kind of try to hear the stuff that sounds just a little bit different and make it stand out, so maybe somebody else will be like, hey, I like that version,
Yeah, no, I like that. I like that a lot. And I like the fact that you respect the older stuff, that you don't, some of that stuff, you just don't change perfection.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, I've had that discussion with so many people that have been on the show and just, musician friends and everything over the years. And that's been one of the things. And, like, you wouldn't change a Keith Whitley song.
Oh, yeah.
If you're doing a Keith Whitley song, you do a Keith Whitley song.
Yeah.
I mean, you do a Merle Haggard song, you do a Merle Haggard song. You don't mess with the greats.
Yeah. It may sound a little different, but you still try to sing it like them.
Yeah. So when you're doing your original stuff, what is your approach to it? Because I know so many people, you either, they get lyrics first, or they get the music first. And I've had I don't know if you've ever heard of Jackson Taylor in the Sinners.
I don't think I have.
He's been around for a long time, well-known guy. Yeah. He was on the show I interviewed him a few weeks ago. His show's coming out in a couple of weeks. And he's like, I don't sit down to write. He goes, I just start playing it and singing it, and that's exactly what the song is. He goes, it drives everybody crazy. He said, I don't have to I don't have a process, because all I just do is sit down and just start doing it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that kind of blew me away. I'm like, that's crazy.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean, he goes, I'll drain the stuff up and just sit down and just start playing. And I'm like, that's incredible. So
yeah, that's all. I mean,
I'm like, everybody wishes they could do that.
There's so many different ways. That right there is pretty awesome. But I don't know. Sometimes either I'm at work or either I'm riding in the car. We'll be on a trip. Something will hit me about something that sounds like a hook or the beginning of a song, and I just kind of go from there. And when I get a guitar, I kind of put some music to it. And sometimes it turns out I can write it real quick, and then other times it takes a week or two or something to finish up one. And Carolina, the main song on my EP, I wrote that in probably about 30 minutes or so. I called it The Grocery Store because my girlfriend had went to the grocery store and came back, and I wrote a song about, and I was like, that's the grocery store song. So, but anyways, it's Carolina.
Like it. It's a good song.
Yeah.
It's a really good song.
I appreciate it. But yeah, no, that, other than that, I mean, sometimes I try to sit down and focus on if there's something, an event coming up, and I'm like, hey, I've been working on that, and I really like to try to finish that song before then. That kind of drives me a little more to actually finish one. But other than that, I just kind of pop up ideas, and sometimes when I'm at work, I just think, okay, this could work, that could work, and then I finish it later. So, where do
you kind of draw some of your inspiration from?
Well,
when you're writing a song, I mean, your type of song, your type of country, where do you kind of, I know different people have different things they dig down deep in to pull out, or, not so deep, but there's a little well somewhere that you've got to draw a bucket of something out of. What is kind of your motivation, Well, it's definitely what's going on in my life at that point in time, and but definitely, I mean, I kind of, when I'm thinking about something with a song, and I think, well, which way do I want to go with it? I just pick an artist, listen to this or that, and then I pick another artist, listen to this or that, and kind of intertwine everything together as far as sound, and just basically, I just think about where do I want this song to go, and it just kind of takes itself there. I'm trying to think. It's just basically,
I don't know. Repeat the question again.
Well, where do you get your inspiration for those songs? If different people. I mean, my buddy Justin Clyde Williams, he doesn't write anything that's upbeat and happy. Yeah. Everything he writes is melancholy. There's something melancholy because that's just his style. And I mean, he is a master of that style. Yeah. But and then you got somebody like Kevin Dedman from Dirty Grass Soul. He's going to write some upbeat, happy, whether it's, honky tonkin' or even praising God, he's going to write you something awesome and uplifting and beautiful. Different people dig down and hey, they get their inspiration from here. And some people just get inspiration from everyday life.
Yeah. And that's kind of everyday life is kind of, most of my ones, like I said, I've got, are from past relationships, so one form or another, growing up, in my high school days, in my, teenage years, a little bit older years, just kind of all intertwined together, family stuff involved and this and that. I actually have, my dad had passed away a year and a half ago, and I had been trying to write a song about him for a while, and it's kind of hard to do, kind of to get out.
Yeah.
And so I've got a new song called Growing Up in Trucks that I just wrote. And it's about one of my fondest memories of me and my dad. He would let me drive around in his lap, in the truck when I was like 10. I wasn't even old enough to drive, and that was one of the things that we used to do all the time. And so stuff like that. I mean, it's more feeling for me, more stuff that actually has happened in my life. I know there's other songs that are more upbeat that I haven't recorded and stuff like that. But everything I pretty much write is something about my life or something that has happened in my life, and I kind of put a spin on it with a little bit of what could happen in everybody else's life that would more generalize it for other people.
Okay, so you really pull more up from the emotion of things.
Yeah, more of the on the emotion side of things, and more on just what has happened in my past, present, future, where I want to go. It's pretty much just all kind of life based at this point with some of my writing. I
love it.
Kind of what I feel.
Yeah. And, I think we've all been there. I remember riding in my granddad's lap and him letting me drive around in like 5. I mean, I did the same thing with my son. I'm like, you can't, he said, Daddy, I can't press the gears. I'm like, don't worry about it. Just sit in my lap and you drive. Because, I mean, we used to live up in the mountains on a gravel road. You weren't going to come across anybody. So, we'd leave the barn and he's driving home. I mean, that's just what you did. Okay, so I guess we've kind of talked about who are some of your bigger influences, music-wise.
Well, like I said, definitely Chris Stapleton. I mean, I don't know anybody who just don't like Chris Stapleton. He can do pretty much anything.
And people forget about him as a songwriter.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
he's been around for years. So
yeah, I mean, he was with Steel Woods for years, and and I think that's, someone's like, oh yeah, Chris Stapleton. I'm like, yeah, he was
Steel Drivers.
Yeah,
yeah, okay. Yeah.
I'm like, did you ever listen to Steel Drivers? No.
Yeah.
I'm like, then you haven't even heard some of his best stuff.
Yeah.
And then what is it? Who was it? Eric Church recorded "Drink a Beer."
That was Luke Bryan.
Luke Bryan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and even he's wrote stuff for Kenny Chesney. I mean,
the guy. There's not much he can't do.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, if you're gonna pick somebody to use as a mentor and everything, that's a good one to choose.
Yeah. And another big influence. I definitely can't play guitar like him, but John Mayer is I love his style, his soul to things, and I don't know. I mean, definitely. Like I said, all the old stuff like Keith Whitley, Johnny Cash, obviously Hank Jr. I do some Hank Sr. stuff every now and then whenever we're out, and some people ask for it, and some people they're like play Luke Combs. I'm like, well, we can play Luke Combs, but you want to hear something old?
Yeah, you want to hear some of the good stuff?
Yeah, you want to hear some of the good stuff. So yeah, but I mean, I like a little bit of everything. I do that Ain't No Sunshine. I put my own spin on that.
Okay. Great song. Love that song.
Some of the soulful stuff and try to make it kind of a country soul kind of thing, but yeah, no, and then also growing up, my dad was a musician too, so that he was one of my bigger influences, and then my uncle, my whole family is very musical, so a lot of people in my family, I'd kind of learned a lot from them growing up, and
well, I know you said your parents were in gospel music.
Yeah.
How do they feel about you being in country music?
Well, they don't have a problem with it. As long as everything goes the right way. I know back in the day they used to do the same thing. I was actually born in Houston, Texas.
Okay,
and so we lived in Texas for a little while, and they used to play at Gillies out there and stuff, and they played all over the place. My dad was from North Carolina, and he actually played in the backing band for George Strait one night when they were looking for, like, he worked for a company where they would hire musicians like on the fly, if somebody was coming into town. And so George Strait came into town and he didn't bring his band, so he used an agency, and my dad played with that. They did all kind of stuff when he was in North Carolina. He back in the day everybody kind of ran around there. Alabama was around there a good bit and playing in Myrtle Beach in South Carolina, and so
Marshall Tucker.
Yeah, Marshall Tucker. So there was a lot of cool things my dad did back in the day. I used to sit around and listen to his stories all the time, and it was
awesome.
Just really cool. So
That's really
it's definitely been inspired and instilled in me from little till now. I grew up, on a bus with a gospel group, and now I'm kind of in the area that I'm in now, but I still love to do gospel music and stuff. I don't get the time to do it as much as I used to, but I still try to do nursing homes and stuff every now and then, and so I break out some.
And they love that.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Well, and see, the fact that you said you were going out and doing nursing homes and everything, so see, you're even giving back to the community, and I got so much respect for that.
Oh yeah,
I'm a big supporter of people giving back, and musicians have the most to give back.
Oh, definitely.
Because especially like, at a nursing home, some of these folks may not remember who their name is, but they're going to remember one of these old hymns that they grew up singing. And you get in there and you can just see the light spark.
Oh yeah, and most of them can remember music before anything else.
Yeah, and
I think that's like a thing. I've read that somewhere.
I see you're doing good work, man. You're doing good work. And see, I didn't know that about you. That's another level of respect.
And most of the time, when I have time, things are kind of busy lately. But anytime I can get out and do something, because it's always fun for me. And so, even going to the nursing home, sometimes you don't get a whole lot of reaction, but you still, it's fun, and plus you get to sing some things you don't normally sing. So
True.
You can sing pretty much anything as far as from gospel to this or that, as long as it's something that's within, a decent, with no cussing in it.
So what? You're not saying you're going to walk in and sing some Slipknot for them?
Probably not sing some Slipknot. I don't know if I could do that. Anyways,
there's some acoustic versions you could probably pull out. Oh man, that's that's pretty awesome. I tell you what we'll do. We'll jump into some of these bare bones.
All right.
Because some of these questions we might actually go down a couple of rabbit holes on. All right, your first one. What would your death row meal be? Now, Ziggy Pockets asked me, he goes, what I go to jail for? Because that's going to depend on a lot for it. And I'm like, first degree murder. He goes, well, then I'm going to be too scared that they're going to kill me. I don't know what I want to eat.
Oh, man.
And I'm like, and I've had some interesting answers.
Man,
meatloaf was the most interesting so far.
So, if I could, I would say, just take me to Golden Corral, and then get me, then kill me. But since it's reality, one single meal, it definitely have to be like filet mignon, medium, baked potato loaded, and a shot of Fireball, and probably some Dos Equis. And
all right, go ahead. What about dessert?
Dessert, God. Well, her name is I'm just
I've gotten that one before too. Is she blonde or redhead?
Blonde. Well, man, dessert, cheesecake all day long.
Steak is the number one answer, I guess.
Steak, well, yeah, I mean, that's...
Steak and baked potato. I've gotten a bushel of blue crab.
Oh, God, that would be good, too.
And let's see. I've gotten, like I said, meatloaf. That was an interesting one.
It depends on who's making
Pizza. Just plain old pepperoni pizza. God, no. And I'm like, hey, this is your death row meal. Who am I to judge? But I think I could come up with something a little better than pizza.
Now, if I had IBS, I'd probably eat something that would set it off. That way, it would delay them killing me.
I don't know. At least they're going to suffer a little bit too. As soon as that juice starts going, it's going to get real bad real quick.
It's going to get around it, yeah.
Oh my gosh! Or if you were lactose intolerant, everything with milk. I want ice cream. I want 2 gallons of ice cream and a block of cheese.
Oh yeah.
Because if I'm going out, you're going to suffer with me.
That's right. That would be terrible.
And I think one of the other unique ones was sushi.
Sushi. Oh no.
I mean, I could see sushi. I love sushi.
I could see crab. I just don't know sushi. That steak. Actually, that steak sounds good. Now, I think when I roll out of here, I'm gonna go get me some steak.
There you go. That's probably not a bad idea. Okay, your buffalo wings. Do you like drums or flats? Do you like them with dry rub or sauce?
I definitely like drums. Dry rub. Usually the garlic, Parmesan garlic or something.
Okay.
Or just a regular barbecue dry rub. But
I gotcha. See, that's everybody. You're one of like 3 or 4 people that's actually said drums.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, I want flats.
Oh,
I'm like, you get more meat with the drums.
Yeah.
Or if you're like me and a couple of other guys I've talked to, well, a wing's a wing. You just bring it out. You just feed me.
Yeah.
I want 10 of this and I want 10 of that. I'll take 10 of dry rub and I want 10 sauce.
I say give me a turkey leg.
There you go. There you go. All right. A song or band that you're stuck on right now.
Song or band that I'm stuck on right now. God, there's so many.
Or you can name a few.
Well, I'm pretty much always stuck on most stuff Mo Pitney does. I'm trying to think of what that was I was listening to today. Let's come back to that one.
Okay. We can do that. What's your all-time favorite book?
Oh, man, 3 Sheep in a Jeep. All day long. Yeah, no, I don't know. I'd rather watch the movie.
You'd rather watch the movie.
Yeah, I don't read a lot of books. If I do, it's for reasons of trying to learn something else, but not as far as like just sitting down and reading like a storybook. Unless I'm reading to my boy. So I think the last book I read was something with SpongeBob. So yeah, I mean it was a good one.
Well, I've had a grown man say the last book he read was Clifford the Big Red Dog.
Oh, God, Clifford the Big Red Dog.
He goes, because he thinks that was the last book he ever read on his own. And I'm like, dude, you're like older than me. That's sad. Okay. That's sad that you don't read. Okay. What was the first record you ever got that you picked out yourself or bought for yourself?
Oh, man. That is going to be tough. I think back in the day it was probably like Korn or something.
Good choice.
Yeah,
Good choice.
I mean, in middle school that was kind of like some of my stuff right there. I went through that phase. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it, but that was like, a different side of me. So, but yeah, probably that or Rage Against the Machine.
Oh, even better choice.
Yeah.
Love Rage Against the Machine.
Oh, and back to the other thing. I got it while it's on my mind.
Okay.
I am right now for the past week. I've been stuck on Marcus King and Goodbye Carolina.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh man, it's
that
really
song.
good.
Like it's stuck in my head.
Well, that's another local guy.
Yeah. No.
That's
very good.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's a great song. Great song. Okay. First concert.
Dave Matthews Band.
All right. Star Wars or Star Trek?
Star Wars.
My man. Good answer. Okay. almost everybody has this, but not everybody. Musicians are usually really good ones that have this kind of thing. Do you have a personal mantra or life philosophy? Just that one little thing, and I've had some interesting answers to this, but I always love to hear what somebody else has to say.
I don't know if I actually have one that I really go by. An actual witty philosophy.
One guy said, "Don't be a dick."
Okay.
And I'm like, I've got a friend that told a bunch of 80 college students that one night at a bar I was bouncing at. He came out and said, "I'm conducting class right now, boys and girls, and I want you to write this down." He goes, "The only thing you need to know in life to get you through, don't be a dick. Write it down. There'll be a test." He turned around and walked back in the bar. And I'm like, somebody looked at me and they were like, there's something to be said for that, saying that.
That is very true. Treat people, you could go be like, treat people the way you want. And you want to be treated. So, other words, say that. Don't be a dick.
Yeah, and that was pretty much where he was coming from. Treat people the way you want to be treated. You want to be treated decent. Treat other people decent.
Yeah,
be respectful. Be understanding.
Well, I feel like maybe something along the lines of Willie Nelson, loving making music with my friends.
There you go.
So good music, good friends, and good beer.
Hey, even better. Okay, what is the one song? Doesn't matter how many times you've heard it. It comes on the radio. The volume is going up, and odds are your foot's going a little heavier down on that pedal because that's just your jam. What is it?
Oh, man.
Everybody's got one.
Yeah, it's definitely, man, it would need to be, I would think, an upbeat song, but it's not. It's probably Go Rest High, Vince Gill.
Okay.
Yeah. It's
great
just,
song.
Yeah, that's one of my, if there was nothing else I could sing or do, that would be the one, that I'd be like, bam. I love, Vince Gill is also one of my biggest heroes.
Yeah, I love that song. That song will tear your heart out.
Yeah. I've sang it many times at many different funerals, unfortunately, and stuff. But, aside from that, it's always, it's fun to, just play and sing. It's a great song.
Okay. A person living or dead that you would like to take the stage with one time.
Elvis Presley all day.
Right on.
Yes.
I get that answer a good bit, too.
Yes.
Okay. This one should be easy for you. Who besides you should people be listening to and checking out?
Oh, man. You want me to name a few? Or?
Yeah, you can name a few.
Well,
they can be local. They can be national acts. Doesn't matter.
Well, I'd like to talk about my local boys. Check out Mr. Jarrett Forrester. And obviously, y'all go check out Mr. Tyler Hatley. He's got some good stuff. And, man, there's so many. Man, if y'all ain't heard of Marcus King, y'all need to be checking that out. You living under a rock.
Exactly. And where's your Carolina pride if you don't know who Marcus King is?
And that also goes with if you don't know the Piedmont Boys, I don't know what you're doing with your life.
Right. All right. Tell everybody where they can find your music at.
You can find my music on Spotify, iTunes, and I say that because that's what most everybody knows, but pretty much anywhere that you can digitally just download and all
CD
that.
Baby, Bandcamp.
CD Baby, everywhere.
Okay.
And you can find that. You can find the links and stuff on YouTube and stuff like that.
All right, throw out your social media stuff so people can follow you.
Yeah, and you can follow me on Facebook and Instagram at Zac Kellum Music, and it's ZACKELLUM Music.
Right on. Any shout outs you want to give?
Oh man. Well, there's a lot of folks out there, but I want to shout out to To my boy Caleb Rains out there beating the drums. I love you, brother.
Right on. Zach, it's been awesome having you on the show tonight. And I know everybody's busy, so I try to keep this short and simple. But I appreciate you coming by.
Oh, yeah, man, it was fun.
I'm glad we were able to make this happen as a full blown live one.
Oh yeah, it's great, man.
In studio, if you will.
I always have fun doing the podcast and stuff like that. It's always a fun time.
I loved having you on, and people, get out there, check out his music. You're gonna love it. I promise you will. Once again, you get out and support local music, local bands, support independent artists everywhere, because they're the ones that are out there doing this. They know they're not making $1 million, but they're still getting out there playing their hearts out for you. And I know I've said this on other shows, and I'm going to reinforce it right now. When you show up at a bar or a venue, don't give people a hard time about paying a cover.
That's right. Yeah.
That whole reason is that cover is going to that band.
That's what makes it.
If you're the friend of a band, then you should definitely be paying to support said friend of the band. So, seriously, people, this is how these guys make their money. This is how they afford to be able to drive to the next place and put food on the table and provide for a kid. So, it goes back to everything. Yeah. Don't be a dick.
Don't be a dick. And I also wanted to add, we had talked about that song "Growing Up in Trucks." If that's not recorded yet, but it's one that I'm really proud of, and so y'all, if you make it out to a show, I'll definitely be playing that one. So y'all make sure you make it out to some of the upcoming shows, and you'll get to hear it.
Awesome. Looking forward to it. Zach, thanks again. Folks, keep on listening. Tune in next week, and you're not going to be disappointed because there's some great stuff coming up.